Did you miss me? Oh, how I have missed you. But I knew that one day we would all be back together here again. You would be watching me on either your phone or your computer, and I would be here talking to you. How? I saw it in my dreams. Well, okay, fine. No, I didn't really see it in my dreams. I just saw that you guys would watch it because whenever I upload a video, you guys do usually watch, so thank you for that, of course, right? But, of course, I am back because I didn't upload. It's been a whole week since I've uploaded, but it feels like a very long time. But anyway, I am back. It is time for our NXT and 205 Live review. My name is Sid. I go by the Nerdy Mark on YouTube, as you all know. But with that being said, let's dive right into our weekly WWE Network shows, starting with NXT. NXT began with, you know what? Hold on one sec. Let me just take the sweater off because, it's way too hot in here. I don't know how the hell Bray did that for 3 whole minutes. God damn, dude. Oh, let me just fix some hair. There we go. NXT did begin with Jackson Ryker taking on Humberto Carillo, and this was a mighty fine match. Anytime Carillo is on my television or on my screen, it is a good time for me because he is amazing in the ring. Jackson Ryker and Carillo do play tag for a little bit because Carillo gets out of the ring and, circles around it, and Ryker chases around him, so it looks like they played a nice little game of tag. RIP Carrillo's chest because Ryker kept on going for it. Took Carillo to the outside, just laid a huge beat down on him. Did not care about the time or whatnot, the count out, so the match did get thrown out. Then the rest of the Forgotten Sons do beat up on Carillo. Lorcan and Burch come out to even out the odds and make the save. They both have steel chairs. They hit Cutler and Blake. Jackson Ryker stares a hole into them. They tend to Humberto Carillo, and I am smelling a 6-man tag, possibly next week. Up next, we do have Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah taking on the team of Candace LeRae and Casey Catanzaro. This is a mighty fine team up. I'm actually really enjoying this, and really good match here. Pretty good match. Aaliyah and Casey start things off. Aaliyah continues to shout, "Who do you think you are?" That's going to more or less become the new "excuse me," and it's going to start making my ears bleed, especially because I watch my wrestling with headphones on, so there's that. So thank you so much, Aaliyah. You're a good person. Casey does become the babyface in peril for a little bit. Bourne has a very hard-hitting style, actually. She comes in, beats the crap out of Casey. Her punches look like they really hurt, so that's pretty cool. I do like Vanessa Bourne quite a bit. She's pretty good in the ring. I mean, she definitely has the chicken shit heel style, but it's still really good, and I really do like the way she wrestles. Candace does come in, gets a lot of good offense in on both Aaliyah and Bourne. She finally does end up winning the match with her springboard senton onto Bourne. Personally, I would be totally okay with LeRae and Catanzaro tag teaming and honestly going for those women's tag titles down the line. Next up, we do have the Street Profits taking on the War/Viking Raiders. Now, I did watch Raw this week, and that's why, obviously I referenced the Bray Wyatt segment. And when I first saw that they were called the Viking Experience, I think I mentioned that I really didn't like it, and I did say that it was very abhorrent. I'm glad that they changed their name to the Viking Raiders. It's definitely much better. But why did you change the Fallout, which is the War/Viking Raiders finisher? Why did you change that to the Viking Experience?
What is your malfunction?
Vince McMahon, what is your obsession with the word Viking and the word experience and putting them together? What they do, the Fallout, that is not an experience. That's murder. If you want to change their finisher name, change it to murder, because that's exactly what they do. Or decimation or something like that. But Viking Experience, just no, it's not. And you know what? I'm wasting too much time on it, but it was ridiculous. Why do we need to have experience at all associated with the Raiders? I don't know. It's Vince McMahon. His mind works in very twisted ways, the match was really good. It started off really hot with Ford hitting a moonsault onto the Raiders before the bell even rang, so that was good stuff. I really enjoyed that. Wanted to get an early victory but it didn't really work. A couple of cool spots. One cool spot was Ford hitting a suplex onto Hansen, the bigger of the Raiders, and also hitting an amazing Shiranui using Dawkins as like the propeller. So that was pretty cool. However, the match did end when the Raiders did hit their Thor's hammer finisher, which I hope isn't changed on the main roster. If you are going to change it, maybe call it Mjolnir, because that's the name of Thor's hammer. They do win the match, and they retain the NXT Tag Team titles. So yeah, this was for the titles, I forgot to mention. So where do the Raiders go from here? I really don't know. If they're retaining the Tag Team titles and they're going to be on the main roster, and they're not showing up with the titles on the main roster, this leaves me a little bit confused. However, still, it does not take away from the quality of this match. And finally, we do have our main event this week. Johnny Gargano, the NXT champion, taking on Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era. What a fantastic match this was. This was absolutely my favorite match of NXT this week. Very refreshing to see Strong back in singles action after what seems like an eternity. A lot of mat wrestling in the beginning, which was fine. I liked it. Extremely fast paced down the line as well. It was really, really good. Both these guys are fantastic athletes, so really a good showcase over there. Strong completely destroys Gargano's back, as he is the Messiah of the backbreaker. I almost forgot that was like his, moniker. Strong does chop Gargano to the ground, and Gargano gets back up and asks for more, which was great, showing this resiliency of Gargano, which gets Strong a little bit flustered. Gargano went for the chops too, and Strong literally got the spit chopped out of him. I'm being absolutely literal here. Gargano literally chopped the spit out of Strong, which looked crazy. I loved it. Gargano and Strong do a lot of counters towards each other. That was really, really cool. Gargano did convert a Boston Crab into a Gargano escape. This brought out Adam Cole, baby, to distract Johnny Gargano. Subsequently, Redragon came out, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. I call him Redragon for convenience sake, because that was their name in Ring of Honor. This was good, and Matt Riddle came out because Cole and Riddle did have a bit of an altercation backstage early on during their photo shoot. Riddle came out, took out Fish and O'Reilly. Adam Cole takes out Matt Riddle. And in the confusion, also Enziguri's Roderick Strong, allowing Gargano to hit the slingshot DDT to win this match. Afterwards, Undisputed Era do tease a split. So it looks like Strong is going to be the one to be kind of kicked out of the group. Or Cole, either Strong or Cole. It's going to end up in a blowout match between Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. And that is a match that I'm really looking forward to. 205 Live began with Drew Gulak in place of Drake Maverick talking about the matches of the night. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Nigel McGuinness is not present this week on 205 Live. Instead, we got the only person who could replace him. The one man that can do the job just as well, if not better, than Nigel McGuinness. That man is David Otunga. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. So, our first match of the night is the aforementioned Drew Gulak versus his student, Humberto Carillo, who is pulling double duty this week, which is pretty awesome because, like I said, anytime I see Humberto Carillo on my screen is a good time for me. So that is fantastic. Very, very good match. Really enjoyed this one quite a bit. Drew Gulak does play some mind games in the beginning. Drew's still kind of trying to be like the teacher for Carillo throughout the match and whatnot, although Carillo blatantly denies that and just completely rejects his advances, if you will. By the way, on a side note, Carillo did propose to his girlfriend on WrestleMania weekend, and now they are officially engaged. So congratulations to Carillo and his fiancee. Wish you guys a very happy married life. Carillo does show that he can do both. He can ground and pound and do all the mat wrestling, and he can still do the high flying stuff. He this guy's talented, man. I love him. Anyway, I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Carillo does climb to the very top, like onto the top turnbuckle, and he looks down at Drew, and he's like, "Hi, Drew." I thought that was pretty funny. That was pretty good stuff. Innovative submission move maneuvers by Drew Gulak. That was great stuff. It was basically rest hold city. At least it was innovative, and it was not like the same rest hold like 50 times that, like what we've seen, in the past. So Carillo did hit a fantastic dropkick off the top turnbuckle. Gulak converted a springboard dropkick into an ankle lock, which was amazing, really showing that Gulak can do, what he has to do. And at one point, Gulak didn't even go on the top rope to try and hit a superplex onto Humberto Carillo, who, just slaps him off. And finally, Carillo does win and beat Gulak with the Aztec press, which is a really good move. I really like that. So yeah, Carillo does win, and it looks like this feud is still continuing because Gulak still has to face Jack Gallagher. We'll see what happens with that next week. And finally, our main event for 205 Live, Oney Lorcan versus Ariya Daivari. The winner faces off against Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight Championship. When, I don't know. I'm thinking Money in the Bank, but I'm not sure yet. They didn't really explain it. However, Tony Nese is watching the match, at ringside. He's not on commentary. He's just sitting and watching the match, which is pretty cool. He's pretty much fully transitioned into the babyface role, so that's pretty cool. I actually kind of like seeing Nese as a face, so, that's just me. But Daivari did go for the hammerlock lariat early on onto Lorcan, which didn't work. Lorcan go for the half and half, early on, which didn't work either because Ariya did slip out of the ring. Came back in, both men took each other to rest hold city, which was okay, fine, whatever. That was kind of the slow part of this match. A lot of mat wrestling in this one as well. There's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of mat wrestling this whole week, actually, so, go figure. So anyway, the sequence of atomic drops by Oney Lorcan, which looked fantastic. And may I remind you, you do not chop Oney Lorcan because he will chop the soul out of you. His chops are very much a rival to that of Walter. So Daivari is fixated on Nese throughout the entirety of this match. So, that's like the one thing. He wants that Cruiserweight title, and he wants it bad. So Daivari does get Lorcan in $1 Million Dream, and which was pretty cool. He does a good job of that. Lorcan also hits a bunch of mark and uppercuts onto Daivari. Even uppercuts Daivari out of the air, which is awesome. He's basically like a anti-air missile or anti-air strike missile, however you say that. Then he also even followed up with a blockbuster, which looked absolutely amazing, which looked very gnarly. Daivari did hit a super kick later on onto Lorcan and followed up with a $1 Million Dream again. But Lorcan, he looks like he's faded, but he gets back up and he does the, the one thing, the 1-2, like him and Danny Burch do. And, he gets his second win back. However, the match does end when Lorcan is hitting a series of elbows from across the ring to Daivari. But Daivari does hit a super kick, gets on the top rope, hits a Persian splash, picks up Lorcan, hammerlock lariat, 1, 2, 3. Ariya Daivari wins the match, and he will be facing off against Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight Championship. Daivari does make his intentions very clear, refuses to shake Tony Nese's hand and says, "I want that." And he looks at the Cruiserweight Championship. Nese raises it up in the air and says, "Come and take it from me." And that's how we end 205 Live. Overall, I actually really enjoyed NXT a little bit more. I just thought the matches were a lot better. I know that both shows did lose some superstars due to the shakeup, and now both brands are kind of looking to build more stars in the form of people like Daivari and Lorcan on 205 Live. And of course, and eventually on NXT, Matt Riddle definitely down the line, possibly even Kushida and Mia Yim and many other females. So, it's honestly just them trying to find new stars. My favorite matches from NXT was definitely Roderick Strong versus Johnny Gargano. And 205 Live, I'm actually going to say Drew Gulak versus Humberto Carillo. Lorcan versus Davari was good, but I kind of like Gulak and Carillo because I think that actually has kind of a story going and it's a little bit more interesting. And that really kind of intrigued me a little bit more. So that pretty much concludes my review of NXT and 205 Live this week. Let me know what you guys thought about both shows in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. This is Sid, signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.